Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to calculate empirical formula and molecular formula. The question here says a compound contains 40% carbon, 6.7% hydrogen, and 53.3% oxygen by mass. Its molar mass is about 60 grams per mole. Find both the empirical formula and the molecular formula. So the first thing we do when solving is to assume 100 grams, which simply means that we're going to turn the 40%, the 6.7%, and the 53.3% to grams. So for carbon, it is 40 grams instead of 40%. Okay, now we're going to divide the 40 grams by the mass of carbon in the periodic table. And the mass of carbon in the periodic table is 12.01 grams per mole. So when we divide 40 by 12.01, that will give us 3.33 moles. We move on to hydrogen. Hydrogen is 6.7 grams. Then we divide by the mass of hydrogen in the periodic table, which is 1.008 grams per mole. Now that will give us 6.65 mole. The next one is oxygen, and oxygen is 53.3 grams. Now divide by the mass of oxygen in the periodic table, which is 16 grams per mole. And that gives us 3.33 moles as well, just like the carbon. Now the second step would be to divide all the moles by the smallest mole, which happens to be the 3.33. So we go ahead and divide each one by 3.33 moles. Okay, and that is it. So the first one gives us 1, the second one gives us 2, the third one gives us 1 as well. And that simply means that we have 1 carbon, 2 hydrogens, H2, and 1 oxygen. And that is our empirical formula. For the second part of the question, which is to find the molecular formula, we will need the empirical formula and the molar mass. So the empirical formula is CH2O, and the molar mass is 60 grams per mole. We're going to find the empirical formula mass, which is more like finding the molar mass of this particular formula. Okay, but we call it empirical formula mass instead. So starting with carbon, carbon is 12.01. There's only 1 carbon, so we're going to multiply 12.01 by 1. And then we move on to hydrogen. Hydrogen is 1.008 times 2 because we have 2 hydrogens. And then oxygen, there's only 1, and oxygen is 16 times 1. Now carbon gives us 12.01, hydrogen is 2.016, and oxygen is 16. Then we sum them up. That will give us 30.026 grams per mole. Now, once we have the empirical formula mass, the last step would be to divide the molar mass that they give us, the molecular weight or the molecular mass they give us, by the empirical formula mass we just calculated. So if we divide 60 by 30.026, that would simply give us 2. So what this means is that the molecular formula is times 2 of the empirical formula. So we go ahead and multiply the empirical formula by 2. So carbon was originally 1 times 2, that would be C2. Hydrogen originally 2 times 2, that would be H4. Oxygen only 1 times 2, that's O2. So this is our molecular formula. I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you so much for watching. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please go ahead and subscribe to my channel, and feel free to suggest topics you want me to upload next. Bye and see you in my next video.